you enjoy in that story? What did you like? What did you enjoy in that story?
That the honesty made rich.
Okay, so by being honest, he got more than even he would have done if he'd been dishonest. Yeah, it's a kind of typical thing in a traditional story, isn't it? Did anybody else say that? About how his honesty paid him back more? What other things did you like about the story?
The story, the old woman counting all the candles.
Oh, you like the story of the candles?
Yes. Hopeful.
Yes, never give up hope. Yeah. It's a beautiful story. The four candles. I like that story too. Who else liked the four candles story? Did you like it? The three pieces of advice. What were the three pieces of advice? So the third one was be honest. The first one? Never leave the old road to follow the new road. Yeah. That's quite a strange advice in this modern world that we live in, where we're always following the new road. Maybe, I don't know, what's the meaning of that advice for you?
Sticking your own ideas.
Stick with your own ideas.
Yes.
Okay. Don't be led by other people. That's interesting. Yeah. And then respect old age. I'm sure you always respect your older people, don't you? You're very nice. Okay. Well, thank you very much for joining in with that story. What I'd like to do now is to tell you another story, but I haven't got a plan. You need to help me, yeah. Basically, I have a lot of stories, and I like to kind of fit the story to the moment. New people who've just come in, where are you from? Italy. You had many problems.
Yes, because
Tell us the story of your problem.
we got home and the last minute we knew we have to get there.
Yeah.
So we have to catch the bus, but the bus didn't pass. Everybody told us, oh, it's coming, but
It never came.
it wasn't coming.
And in the end?
The bus came and we got here.
Finally, the bus we got the bus.
We are far from the center.
Very far.
Yes. Last week.
Well, thank you for coming. Thank you for making it.
Don't do it.
Thank you for making it. Okay, so we've got different countries, Italy and Russia. I don't know. I've told a story from Thailand already this evening, but I like to tell stories from different parts of the world. So whoever catches this, please could you close your eyes? Close your eyes. Okay, now close your eyes and turn the world and point to one place.
Come on, in Russia.
And tell us. Where? Africa. Ghana! Good choice. Should we have a story from Ghana?
From Holland. Do you have stories from Holland?
Yes, I do. But we go to Ghana. Because we chose Ghana. Do you know what? In Ashanti is one of the tribes or the people who live in Ghana are the Ashanti people. And the Ashanti people many thousands of Ashanti people were taken as slaves across the ocean to, particularly the Caribbean, by British slavers 300 years ago, 200 years ago. Not only British,
Dutch.
and Dutch as well, and many others. And so many stories are told in Ghana and also in Jamaica and other countries of the Caribbean, which were British colonies, which come from Ghana. And they're the same stories on both sides of the Atlantic Ocean. And they're fantastic stories. This is one of them. There's a character, and his name is Anansi. Do you know Anansi? Anansi is a man, and Anansi is also a spider. He's sort of a demigod. He can change form from man to spider, and from spider to man. He's not Spider-Man, but he has got this incredible power to transform himself. And Anansi is a trickster. He's always tricking others and trying to get what he wants. And sometimes he succeeds, and sometimes he fails. I mean, in the beginning, when the world was young, Anansi wanted all of the stories because he believed, and I think it's true, that all knowledge is in stories. And he went and he collected stories from everyone. And he stole stories and he begged for stories until he had all the stories in the world, all the stories that the sky god had given. And Anansi put these stories into a box and he tied the box to his belly. And he said, now I'm going to hide this box of stories where nobody else can find it. And he turned himself into a spider, found the tallest tree of the forest that he began to climb. And he climbed higher and higher and higher up this tree. So high he climbed, but the problem was this box kept knocking the tree. It was really uncomfortable, it kept bashing against the tree, and it was difficult to climb. But he continued climbing higher and higher. And when he had got so high, he heard a voice from below. Hey, Anansi! Anansi! Ha ha! And the voice were laughing at him. And he looked down and said, who's laughing? And he saw there were some young people. Why are you laughing at me, said Anansi. We're laughing at you, Anansi, because you're a fool, they said. Me, a fool, said Anansi. Why? Because look at you with that box on your belly, knocking against the tree. Anansi, it would be much better if you tied that box to your back. And Anansi knew that the young people were right. And Anansi became angry. So angry, he took off the box and he threw it down. And the box came flying down towards those young people as they looked up. So fast it came down, and the young people hid their faces, and then the box smashed against a branch of the tree. And it cracked open, and all of the stories came out. And the stories, some of them floated down to the ground, but other stories were carried on the wind. Some were carried over the ocean. Some were carried over the forests. Others were carried over the mountains. Many were carried over the desert. And the stories floated in the wind all around the world and slowly settled down on places, on creatures, on people, on everyone. And that, they say in Ghana, is how everyone in the world got stories. All of us carry stories. All of us can also tell stories. And the best story I know about Anansi is a story that comes from Jamaica. That time Anansi lost everything. But see what happens this time. Anansi wanted to get married, and he wanted to marry the most beautiful princess in the village. And her name was Adawa. Adawa was wonderful, powerful. I will marry the one who is the strongest. That's me, said Tiger. I am the strongest. I am strong too, said Anansi. But you're a spider, said Tiger. I am more powerful. After that, Anansi could not be found. Tiger looked for him everywhere. Finally, one day, Tiger was padding through the forest, and he found Anansi leaning against a tree. He had a stick. What are you doing, Anansi? Where have you been? Oh, said Anansi, I hurt one of my legs. I cannot walk. I need this stick. You are so strong, Tiger. I am strong, said Tiger. I am stronger than you. Come with me and tell Adawa, and then I will be married to her. Oh, but how can Soon Tiger found the stick and gave it to Anansi, and Anansi rode on the tiger's back as he padded on through the forest. Oh, beautiful tiger, magnificent tiger, just one thing I ask. Can we say that together? Oh, beautiful tiger, magnificent tiger, just one thing I ask. What is it? You know, your fur is so sleek. I keep sliding. With your sharp claw, could you cut a vine from the tree so I can put it around your neck? Well, my fur is sleek. My claw is sharp. Very well. The tiger cut a vine, and Anansi put the vine around Tiger's throat and held on. Tiger padded through the forest. Oh, beautiful tiger, magnificent tiger, just one thing I ask. You know, this vine, it keeps slipping, but you have such beautiful, shining, sharp teeth. Could you not put the vine between your teeth so I can hold on better? My teeth are sharp and shining. Tiger took the vine between his teeth. And Anansi held on tight. And Anansi padded on. And now he was coming to the edge of the forest where the village was, where Adawa lived. And as he came into the village, Anansi took that stick and he struck the tiger as hard as he could and pulled on the vine. And the tiger roared in pain and ran forward into the village. And the people came out of their houses and they pointed as the tiger ran between them, roaring in pain. And Anansi struck the tiger again. And the tiger screamed in pain, but Anansi held the sharp vine between his teeth. And now Adawa came out of her house and she looked at the tiger, how the tiger had been weakened, and how Anansi was stronger. And the tiger saw Adawa. He dropped his head. And Anansi climbed down and he took the vine and he tied the tiger to the tree. And he took Adawa by the hand. And the spider Anansi stepped into her house to be married. Sometimes the trickster gets exactly what they want. Be careful of Anansi. Do you know somebody like that? Your little brother? Yeah. Where did that story come from? That story's told in Jamaica. But it originally, the same story is told in Ghana. And the first story I told about the tree, the box, that's very much from Ghana as well. So, yeah. Oh, exciting, isn't it? Where should we go next? Where shall we go next? Russia. Everybody's saying, oh, Russia, Holland, Spain, Argentina, we're all going to claim our own country.
One story about Russia. From.
Why don't you tell a Russian story?
I don't know Russian stories.
Серьезно?
Да. She knows.
Yes. Do you know a Russian story?
Every Russian person knows some Russian stories.
Yeah, I know. Russian stories Is your story very short?
It's a short story, yes.
What, like 2 minutes?
I think so. Yeah. I can say it.
That's okay. What's your name?
Jane.
Jane?
Really?
Yeah. Jane! Let's have a good story.
Oh,
And maybe this story comes from,
I think it's from Holland.
it maybe comes from Holland. Maybe, let's see if you know the story as well.
I don't know the name of the boy. Patrick. Patrick.
Jack.
Maybe I can look it up. On my
Call him a typical Dutch name.
Peter.
Peter. Yeah.
Holland is very well known for his. It's not a bridge, but when
Dike.
dike. Yes, it's very well known for his dike.
Can you explain Dike
Like,
to
dike
everybody?
is like when you have a river. Holland is a very low country. The water comes easily on the land, so they built all dikes to hold the water. But at one, it's in somewhere in Holland.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay. Somewhere in the 19th century, there was a little boy called Peter, and it just was walking around, and people were screaming, and oh, the dike is gonna break down. So Peter wants to have a look, and he just walked around and saw the brick, the little hole in the brick where the water was coming out. So he walks right through it, and his father said, "Peter, don't go there. It's dangerous. The dike can break down. You can drown." But Peter was curious, so he walked further to the dike, and he was pulling his nose because it was itching right there. And he wants to have a look, and everyone was running around. And by the time he came to the dike broke down a little, but he put his finger into the dike, and everyone was saved.
With one finger.
One finger in the hole.
The same finger he put in his nose.
Yes. That was a little story. I didn't know.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, thank you very much.
Something like that.
Yeah, so with one small act, we can save a whole country.
Yes, that was.
Yeah, that's the
I don't
message,
know if
isn't
you
it?
heard
That's
it.
the meaning. Oh, wonderful. Thank you for your story. Anybody else got a story they'd like to tell?
Germany is very.
Another story with, while you think about it, another story, I told you a couple of stories about different Greek gods. Remember about Prometheus and about Heracles and Athena? Zeus as well. I'll tell you a story about Zeus. Do you know the god Hermes? Hermes is like the helper to Zeus, and also Hermes is also the god of profit, the god of money. And Hermes was with the other gods. Okay? Hermes was with the other gods, and Hermes thought, I want to know, what do people think about me? How much worth do I have? So Hermes went down and disguised himself as a man. And he went into the town, to the marketplace, and he came to the stall of a sculptor who was selling small statues of gods. And he said, this statue of Zeus, the king of all the gods, how much does it cost? And the sculptor said, wow, 1 drachma. And this statue of Hera, the queen of all the gods, how much? Same, 1 drachma. And then Hermes saw a statue of himself. And this statue of Hermes, the god of business, the god of profit, the great helper, Zeus. How much for this one? Oh, said the sculptor. If you buy the other two, I'll give you that one for free. Yeah. That's it. That's the story. Have you got a story to tell? In that case, let's have something different, shall we? Should we have a song for a change?
Yes.
Yes? Yeah, just have to break up the evening with a little song. Maybe you know this story. I mean, maybe you know this song. I like coming to, yes,
Can I go to the trial?
of course you can. Yeah.
Oh, you should come with her. I think it's dangerous to go alone.
Really?
Yeah.
Even in the Globe English Centre?
Yeah, it's dark. Especially in the Globe English.
Especially in the Globe English
Yeah.
Centre.
Don't want to be here at night. I think I have to go and look after her.
Don't be long.
Nilu? Are you still there?
I like coming to the Globe because it's so international. Different nationalities going on together. They just popped out to the loo. So if you would like to, you could join me singing this song. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them blue for me and you. Do you know this song? And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Have you heard it before? I see skies of blue, clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colours of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Close your eyes. Turn the world. No control, no control. See what happens. And
Нет, я хочу здесь.
Japan.
No. It was here in Japan. Yes.
Japan.
Yes.
Oh.
Japan.
Japan.
Я люблю Японию.
7 friends were talking about what they were afraid of. I am afraid of snakes. They move in a zigzag. I am afraid of bats. They fly at night. I am afraid of foxes. They turn into ghosts. I am afraid of spiders. They make sticky webs. I am afraid of caterpillars. They hide under leaves. I'm afraid of ants. They travel in long trails. Mr. Pine? Mr. Pine? What are you afraid of? Mr. Pine lay down, his chin resting in his hand. I am afraid of nothing. Oh, but Mr. Pine, you must be afraid of something. Aren't you afraid of... if I catch a snake, I'll tie it round my head to keep me warm. Aren't you afraid of... I catch a bat, I put it on a stick and use it as an umbrella. Aren't you afraid of... foxes? If a fox turns into a ghost, I'll keep it as my slave.
Are you afraid of butterflies?
If I catch a spider, I take its sticky web and mix it with my rice. And the spider too. Delicious. Aren't you afraid of caterpillars? I take a caterpillar, I tie it to a stick and I use it as a toothbrush.
Are you afraid of ants?
Aren't you afraid of ants? I take a handful of ants and I put them on my food instead of sesame. Even more delicious. But Mr. Pine, what are you afraid of? Oh, I remember now. I am afraid. I am afraid of Mandu. Mandu? Mr. Pine, what kind of creature is Mandu? was finishing the last manju. But Mr. Pine, aren't you afraid of manju? I forgot. I am not afraid of manju, no. Oh, Mr. Pine, what are you afraid of? Yes, I'm afraid of a cup of tea. Mr. Pine is a little bit like a Nancy. You have to be careful with tricksters. You get them everywhere. Japan, Africa, Europe, every culture we have our tricksters. You have trickster stories in Russia? Sure you do. Have you remembered your Russian story you wanted to tell?
It's quite long. It's a book.
Yeah?
Yes.
What about a short Russian story?
I can't tell it like short. It's a bit long. Yeah.
Shall I tell a Russian story?
Yes, please.
And you will not tell a story of Holland.
But you did.
Yes, no, it wasn't a good one.
It was.
It wasn't.
It was. It was wonderful.
You have to promise that you have
Scary story.
scary story.
Scary story.
Yes.
No.
Without light.
Because it's dark outside, you don't want a scary story.
Yes.
Yes.
We can also light.
Let's put this candle. Yes.
Yes, please.
And we have the lights out.
Scary story. Do you know any scary stories?
Agustina knows one. She told me.
Really, Agustina? That's a scary story for us.
Agustina, they only had scary stories. She told me. It's here also. There are scary stories. You want to tell some? You told me.
You see here, the right moment. Well, look.
Is there more scary sounds there?
Oh, really? Or maybe this one. Maybe this one.
Oh, wow! Fire!
I need spiders.
The other
I
light.
hate scary stories.
Where's the other light?
Let's talk about other.
My phone is on. Close the curtains, or...
It's enough. Can you see me? I cannot see you. I'm going to tell you an old story from here. An old story from Devon. And it's also a true story.
Go on, I hate the stories.
Excellent. On the other side of Devon there is a town called Tavistock. And in Fitzford House there lived a rich man. His name was Fitz, John Fitz. And 400 years ago, John Fitz owned all of fights and lost. He became angry and bitter. And one day he was involved in a drunken fight there in Tavistock. And he killed another man. After this he was summoned to London to the court of King James. He rode up to London, but he was furious with the world. He drank along the way, and when he arrived late at night, he banged on the door of the pub. He was let in, and being a gentleman, they gave him a room. But during the night, the landlord of that inn only heard rantings and ravings of a lunatic. And early in the morning, he knocked on the door to bring him breakfast. But John Fitz ran out of the door and put his knife into the heart of that kind landlord and killed him as well. After this, seeing what he had done, he took the knife and drove it into his own chest. He bled. People bandaged him, but he pulled the bandages away.